Hey there everyone, it's Nina Marie Trapani for Simon Says Stamp, and wait until you see the treat we have for you today. We are revealing the beautiful and most darling Christmas Town Matchbook Stamp and Die Set from Art Impressions, exclusively designed for Simon Says Stamp and only available at simonsaysstamp.com. This stamp set works perfectly with the matchbook template and matchbook envelope dies from Art Impressions. You may already have that awesome die set, so we do have the Christmas Town stamps and dies available on their own. But if you don't have the matchbook dies, those templates we are bundling with the stamp and die set of Christmas Towns. Today I'm going to show you how I use the matchbook set to create a darling little card, and then I'm also going to be sharing inspiration with you at the very end of this video that many other creators have made using this Christmas Town stamp and die set, only available while supplies last. So this is the stamps and dies. These come as a bundle together, so if you purchase just the stamp set, you will get the coordinating dies. If you want the other items, I'll show you those up close, and those are available in other bundle options. I'm going to show you the stamps. These have some super cute images. You've got little houses, a snowman, Christmas trees, presents, and a couple of greetings. And then there are coordinating dies that cut out pretty much everything from this set except for the greetings. So you can mix and match these images to create sweet little scenes for the holiday season. This is the matchbook template die, so this allows you to cut the base of your card. It's got the main element that allows you to fold this and create that sweet little matchbook scene. There are also accessory pieces included in this die set, so you've got windows, a little banner that you can use for your sentiments. You've got also something that looks similar to a rug. You've got some shapes, lots of extra pieces that you can use to build a fun little scene. And then for the matchbook envelope, this makes a cute little envelope that the matchbook itself will fit in. So these two die sets work together. You don't have to have the envelope, but I've got to tell you, this is a great little die to have to complete your little matchbook. So your matchbook will fit inside this beautifully and create such a sweet little presentation for somebody. So I'm going to show you how I created my matchbook. I'm going to stamp all of the main images from the stamp set onto some watercolor paper because I'm going to watercolor my images, but you can use markers, pencils, whatever your favorite medium is. I'm not going to walk you through step by step the entire process of my coloring because I do want to show you how to assemble this, and I feel like that's the most important part of this video. So I will show you a little bit of the coloring. I used some Prima watercolors that I had in my stash, and I'm going to use a small number 2 and also a 0 paintbrush to help me paint these images because they are small. But I'm keeping the coloring very simple because these images are on the small scale, so I don't really have to worry about adding a ton of detail. So for my coloring on images like this, I like to put down a little bit of color and then add just a little bit more in a slightly more intense version and then just fade that out. It leaves a slight little highlight, which is really nice. So it gives some illusion of some shading here and some dimension without having to fuss with it a ton. One of the things I love about Art Impressions sets is that you could use the packaging that this set comes with as your guide for your coloring. I didn't do that for my project. I wanted to create a nice little color palette that matched well with some pattern paper that I'm going to use as the base of my matchbook and also the envelope. So I was kind of just picking and choosing out of my color palettes what colors I wanted to use on this project, keeping it very classic holiday. We've got navy, green, red, a little bit of like a gingerbread brown, and I think that color combination worked really well together. So after I colored all of my images, I'm going to bring in the coordinating Christmas Town dies. What's great about these dies is not only do they cut out your images, but then they also score the areas that need to be folded in order to create the pop-out elements on your matchbook. So this makes it really simple for you to put together. So I'm going to pop out all of my pieces after running them through my die cut machine. And the pieces that are going to be dimensional, kind of like pop-up pieces, you'll see those have the little tabs hanging off the sides. Those have all the score lines created for you when you die cut. So I can just come along and fold on all of those score lines to create the little dimensional pieces that will help these images pop up out of my matchbook. So this one is the most dimensional. That one has 2 score lines on each side. The rest of them have just a single little tab that you fold over to create that dimension. Once I have my images prepped, now we can work on creating our matchbook. So for the matchbook, I'm die cutting some pattern paper. This is some cute pattern paper that was very wintry that I had in my collection. It has a lot of blues, reds, greens, and that's what I used as my inspiration for the coloring. When you get your matchbook die cut, you want to go ahead and fold on all of the score lines that are created when you die cut, and there is also a little slit that's cut into the front panel, which is the perfect place for you to go ahead and slip the tip of that scallop edge into. So this will close up your matchbook. So your little matchbook is completely enclosed now. You don't have to have the envelope, but the envelope adds such a cute factor. But the envelope, I feel, adds like the ultimate cuteness factor to this. So I'm going to now work on assembling all of my little Christmas town elements into this matchbook. I'm using red line tape for this because it's really strong and it's going to hold up to the card being open and closed and the pop-up elements being filled with. So I really want to make sure that I use a strong adhesive. I'm going to also make sure that when I attach my elements down that I flatten them completely, so that way I know for sure that when this envelope is closed, they're not hanging over any of the score line areas, which would impede this from closing. So here I carefully laid my houses down flat before I adhered it, so that way I knew they would fit inside of this matchbook after I closed it up. Now I can pop them up, they look adorable, and I can start bringing in my side elements. It's easy to know where to place them because of the orientation of the tab. So the tree goes really nicely on the right hand side, and then the cute little snowman, he's going to go on the left. And these little pieces I lined up right along the edge of the sides of the matchbook. So now that we have our side elements completely attached, check out how this is creating such depth on this scene. It looks so lifelike. Then for the houses that layer behind the trio in front, these I'm just layering flat down onto the matchbook with some adhesive, just so that way it adds the illusion of this being a really sweet little village. Okay, now for the presents, they're going to go in front, and I'm placing them just below that little slit. And then I'm also going to take the tiny little Christmas trees and glue those directly onto my Christmas houses, so that way they have some accents as well. So this scene is coming together so beautifully. Check out how dimensional this is and how lifelike. I think these are just charming little scenes. Art Impressions has quite a few matchbook collections in their line of products. Now I'm also going to take this little accessory piece from the matchbook die set, and I'm going to cut this out from some red cardstock. This is the little sentiment banner that I was mentioning earlier. I'm going to stamp one of my greetings from the Christmas Town set onto it. So I'm using embossing ink, and also I prep the surface with my powder tool prior to stamping. That way I can sprinkle on some white embossing powder. These are all products from Simon Says Stamp. And then I can now heat set that greeting onto the cardstock. That red cardstock is going to go beautifully with all of the other colors that I have in my scene. And while we're watching me fold the little tab over for this sentiment, I did want to mention that all of the products, including the Christmas Town set and bundles, are all linked below in the video description and over on our blog for you to check out. I used that same red line tape to pop up my sentiment, and then here it is, the reveal of this cute little scene. I had it all closed up, and now I'm opening it to show you how darling this looks. When you undo it, it just is so charming. I'm going to embellish my scene just a bit more. I couldn't just stop there. So I'm bringing in a few snowflakes that I had from a sequin mix, and I'm going to go ahead and place these around my scene on different ends of the matchbook. I've got a couple on the side flaps. I have some layered on top of the little houses and trees, and these are just going to add the illusion of some larger snowflakes falling. But I also want to maintain some of that depth and add some smaller dots of snow as well. So here I'm going to use some vintage white Nuvo drops to add that perfect little touch of snow falling through the sky. And I did make sure to layer it over top of my houses, so that way they also look like they're inside of all this snow as well. So I'm going to bring in that matchbook envelope die because, like I said, I think this is one of the most charming aspects of this entire project, is to start with the envelope and then somebody gets to open it up and find something else to open. How cool is that? So the matchbook envelope set comes with a bunch of pieces, And when you die cut the envelope itself, it has multiple score lines around each edge. And the reason is because our matchbook is dimensional. So we need our envelope to have a little bit of depth to it so that way it can accommodate the thickness. So see how there's a little bit of thickness there to the interior of this envelope? This is going to help make sure that your little matchbook fits inside beautifully. So I'm going to go through and fold on all of those score lines. So each edge has 2 lines that you need to fold on. And then I'm going to take some more red line tape. Again, this is the tape of choice for this project for me because it's going to hold up to everything that it's going to go through, being opened, played with, you name it. So I'm using the red line tape on only that bottom flap so I can fold it up and seal the 2 sides to it. And that's going to form the envelope. Really simple and easy. This also cuts a slit into the front of the envelope as well, so you can tuck the tip of it inside, which will keep it closed. There is a little bow die that comes in the matchbook envelope set, so I did cut that from the same red cardstock I used earlier, and then that's going to look adorable at the base of my envelope. Now here's the part where I wanted to add a little bit of glitter. I was just about done and I was like, you know what, we need some sparkles. So I brought in a little bit of glossy accents and then just put it in certain places. So the snowman scarf, the star and ornaments on the trees, the little ribbons that are on the presents in front of this scene. And so after using the glossy accents, then that allowed me to come back in with some Distress Clear Rock Candy glitter to sprinkle on top and create the perfect touch of sparkle. I also made sure to utilize that sparkle on the bow that's on our envelope, just so that way everything's really cohesive and looks so cute together. So once this dries, then I have the perfect touch of Christmas sparkle throughout the project. And that's going to do it. So this is the little matchbook scene that I made with the Simon Says Stamp and Art Impressions exclusive Christmas Town stamp and coordinating dies, plus the matchbook envelope and matchbook template dies. So my project is just one out of many that I'm about to share with you today. I also want to showcase to you many of the projects that other designers have created. Let's start with Callie Person. She created this darling little scene. I love her ink blended background. She added some splatter to it for a little touch of snow. Her bright colors are so festive, and that sweet little let it snow sentiment at the bottom is so charming. What's really fun about this matchbook set is that even though we all use the same products and they all come together very similarly, they are different. Check out this one that Tina Smith made. Very similar to Callie Person's, but check out how she added some different colors. She also glued one of those little trees to the sentiment at the front, which I think was very clever, and added some baubles to the trees for some holiday cheer. Karen Day had the same idea to add some sparkle and shine to the baubles, but she used a very neutral gold color, which looks very classy. Then she used the Oh What Fun sentiment in the front of her card, and I just love how her Copic coloring was so perfect with the shading that she added. Now this one I just adore. This one's from Dory Mendiola, and look at all the glitter that she has everywhere. Even the snowman is sparkly. The roofs of the houses, so cute. And check out that little envelope in the background. Look at how she cut it from some festive paper, tied a little bit of string around it, and also added a tag, which she embellished using those cute little tiny trees in the Christmas Town set. Jeanette Houghton's coloring on this is just superb. I love all the details, including down to the presents with all of the printing on the paper. It's just charming. The shingles on the roofs are spectacular, and then that dramatic dark colored paper, it really sets this scene off. It looks like a sweet little town ready for Christmas morning to come around. Now, if you don't have the Art Impressions matchbook envelope or matchbook template dies, that doesn't mean you can't use this sweet little set. Look at what Renee Matarese made using these stamped images. She took off all the tabs and then used them to create this A2 card that features almost all of the elements. And I think this is such a clever and unique way to utilize a stamp set if you don't want to use it with the matchbook. If you want something a little bit larger, it still is cute. Finally, the last card I have to share with you is this one from Sharon Caudle. I think this is charming that the snow on top of the roofs, even down to the little windows, have little snow pieces hanging down. She added the presents off to the left, which I think is nice, and then she used the elements from the stamp set to also decorate her envelope, which is so sweet. So that's going to do it for us today, utilizing this Christmas Town stamp and die set, exclusive to Simon Says Stampin', only available while supplies last. You can get it over at our Simon Says Stamp store. It's available only for a limited time, however, so if you love it, you're going to want to grab it while you can. We hope that you have been inspired by all that you've seen today and that you will check out the Christmas Town set. Thank you so much for watching this video, friends. We look forward to seeing you again very soon. But until then, have a fabulous day.
Hi there, I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at simonsaysstamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.